The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host. Today, we're going to talk again to realtors, top-performing realtors. Today, we have realtors from Compass Real Estate. In addition, we will have an architect and even a home builder on this edition of Real Estate Matters. Our guest is Robin Brand with Compass Real Estate. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's tell people about what you do, because you are on the north side of town, right? You have an office in the Woodlands.
I do, yes. I work predominantly in the Woodlands, but do have some clients that I work with frequently downtown as well. But I would say 80% of my business is definitely within the Woodlands and surrounding areas.
When we think about the activity in the Woodlands, I always hear it's really good. At this point in time, Robin, what are you seeing right now in terms of buyers and sellers? How active is the market?
The market's really active. Actually, our inventory overall is down for this time of year. I think the shutdown has got people really looking at their homes a little bit more closely, probably seeing a lot of what they don't like and just were able to sort of ignore without having to be, cooped up in it for so long. So a lot of people really just out exploring, wanting to see what's out there and being offered, considering a move that maybe they hadn't been considering prior to the shutdown.
That is right. Even people like me are doing that, looking around my home saying, you know what? I can fix that. I can move this. I can paint this. But then some of us are saying, how about a new home, right? So that seems to be,
or a bigger lot, or I need two studies, not just one. That's happened in our family, where we're both working from home now and needed to convert a bedroom to another study so that we could both have our space.
You mentioned the word pool. I would ask you, as a real estate professional, out of, let's say, 10 buyers that you are helping, how many of them want a pool out of those 10, roughly?
10.
All 10. There you go.
And the reason for that, really specifically for me, is most of my market is above $1 million, and in fact, most of my buyers and sellers are above 1.5. So at that price point, a pool is an expectation. All of my listings, sans one that's a new home sale, those custom homes, the builders don't typically put pools in, but those buyers who will purchase that home eventually will definitely want a pool. So what we do is we have a pool company do a rendering for us so that we can adequately demonstrate just how much pool will fit in that yard and what it might look like. It gives the people who are considering that as a purchase, an idea of what they can do, what they can't do, and just helps them make that decision.
As far as properties that are over $1 million, you do a lot of work in the above $1 million range. In the Woodlands, how long does a property that looks really nice, let's say it's 1.5 in that range, how long does that sit on the market at this point in time, would you say, estimate?
There are some pretty major caveats that we have to that timeline here in the Woodlands. That market overall has been really slow, but in part it's not so much due to lack of desire, demand, and interest. It's lack of available, acceptable inventory. As you know, the Woodlands is divided in half. Essentially, we have one portion that's north of Spring Creek that is Conroe Independent School District, and one portion which is south of Spring Creek and is in Harris County District, which puts it in a different school district. So if you're moving up, let's say you've been in the Woodlands for 20 years, you own a home in the middle of the Woodlands, and your kids are in school, probably about to go to high school, and you want to move up to a larger home, you're somewhat limited in what you can choose from because you want to stay in that school district. You don't want to move your kids out of the school district. Well, we really boomed during what I call the brown phase, the Mediterranean style, which was very ornate, very beautiful, lovely homes, barrel tile roofs, dark finishes, dark wood, lots of flourishes. That style has really gone out of favor here the last 5 years or so. And unfortunately, we stopped building in the Montgomery County side about 5 years ago. So your only choice, one, is to a major remodel or buy a home that has been remodeled, or go out of the district into the Creekside area to either buy new or something that is resale that was built in the last 5 years and offers those kinds of cleaner, simpler finishes, flourishes, less trim, less ornateness, which is much more popular right now. So in the Montgomery County side, if a home does come on the market that is more of that current style, even in those higher price points, it will sell quickly and at a rate that's much faster than a home down the street that was beautiful in its era, that more Mediterranean style. That home will sit on the market for a long time until it finds that buyer who just loves that style anyway. That's really been the issue that we see in terms of marketability. It does make a difference in price, and it does make a difference in days on market.
Certainly people in the Houston area are familiar with the Woodlands, and a lot of them are listening right at the time of broadcast. But after the time of broadcast, people hear us all over the place on the internet. And in case they're listening from a state or a place that they're not familiar with the Woodlands, because it is an incredible area, a lot of people know about it worldwide. But in case someone doesn't know, how would you describe the Woodlands, and what is the attraction that people love so much about it?
Oh gosh, unless you work outside the Woodlands, there's really no reason to ever leave for day-to-day life. Everything you want, everything you need is right here. And what I really love about it is no matter where you live within the Woodlands, because it's a fairly large geographical area, the way it's been developed is in sections of what we call villages. And within each village, you'll have a wide range and variety of price points in housing, from apartment communities to multi-million-dollar homes. You'll have a village center where your day-to-day grocery store, dry cleaners, banks, daycares, fast foods, all those kinds of things are within that village. So no matter where you live, whether it be towards the back, towards 2978, or towards the front, which is I-45, you're within 5 minutes of all those things you need day to day. The convenience is really wonderful. Then we've got a great medical community, all the best doctors, hospitals, 5 minutes away. Schools, excellent schools, great programs. We also have private school options, although honestly, unless you're looking for a specific, college prep or a religious-based education, public schools are excellent. There's really not a need in terms of academics to go a private route. So then of just community events, there's lots of free things to do, concerts in the parks when we don't have a lockdown and those kinds of situations.
It is,
it's a great place to grow up.
And if someone does work outside of the Woodlands, I don't know, are there people that work downtown Houston anymore that live in the Woodlands?
Oh yes. People are making that choice because of when you get home, you're really home, and your family's well taken care of, education's well taken care of, and just the enjoyment of the community really makes that drive worthwhile. We do have, of course, the Hardy that feeds right into I-45 just south of the Woodlands. Then we have the new Outer Beltway 99 that'll take you towards the west side of Houston very quickly. It's probably a 45-minute drive to true downtown on a good day. And then we also have some park and ride bus opportunities where you can park your car here in the Woodlands, hop on a bus, and be dropped off downtown. So we've got some good options there. And of course, accessibility to the airport's really important. It's a 30-minute ride right down the Hardy to Houston Intercontinental Airport. So if you're someone who's working and traveling frequently, that's an easy jaunt. So yeah, we really do attract people who work all over the city but love living in the Woodlands.
What are you seeing in terms of activity where people are coming from outside of Texas to live in the Woodlands? You see a lot of that?
We do. A lot of the oil companies have been our major relocation lookers here of late, although some of that has been placed on hold or is going at a slower pace. We do have a large medical community that is recruiting all the time, And we do see those physicians coming in from all over the country, which is wonderful. They tend to, really want to be towards the front of the Woodlands because of requirements that their facilities may have of them in terms of proximity to the actual hospital facility. If they're on call for emergency procedures, they need to be within 20 minutes of the hospital. And so oftentimes we'll draw a circle and, okay, on the worst case scenario, or can I get there in 20 minutes? And in most parts of the Woodlands, yes, you can. But, having that upfront location is always nice for them.
We are talking with Robin Brand with Compass Real Estate. Before we close the segment out, Robin, let's tell people what else you'd like them to know and how they can reach you.
Oh, well, I would love to help anyone who is interested in learning about the Woodlands area. I work with a lot of custom builders. I list a lot of custom homes in Carlton Woods, Creekside, and East Shore specifically right now. So I know a lot about construction. I know a lot about what makes a good quality home. And I've raised 3 children here. I think that's the biggest testament of all is all my kids went to the public school system here. They've all moved on. They're doing great. They enjoyed their time here in the Woodlands. And so I just have a wealth of knowledge that if someone needed to learn, I would be happy to teach them. You can always reach me by going through the Compass site, compass.com. My cell number, all my contact information is there, as well as my email address. Yeah, my cell number is 832-928-4143. And you can reach me at robinbrand.com. Robin is spelled with a Y, by the way.
ROBYN. You have a tremendous website. You can call Robin at 832-928-4143. Thank you, Robin, for being on the show.
Thank you.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's talk to Ken Brand. He is the sales manager of Compass Real Estate, located in the Woodlands. Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you.
What a great name you have, too. You're building your brand. You're Ken Brand, right?
Yeah, I need to thank my mom for that. I don't think she had any clue what the benefit would be of a name like that, nice and solid. So it's served me well. Thank you.
It is so solid. And by the way, you are, out of 300 and some shows, you are the first person with that name, with that kind of special branding. Let's tell people what you do, Ken, for the company.
I am the sales manager for Compass Real Estate, primarily the Woodlands. I also work with Katie Kosev in Houston. So we have a little over 300 agents. And our role is to help them achieve their goals and deliver the success through delivering ultimate high-level service and marketing to their buying and selling clients.
The first thing I think about when I think of your role in sales and helping other agents, first of all, Compass, we already know you have the best agents already. You have some of the most seasoned, the most professional agents that have been around Houston and from other places as well. Talk a little bit, if you would, about training people that are already good, because we always can get better, right? But how do you work in that sales and motivating way with people that are so accomplished already?
That's a good question. It is different than most real estate firms. We don't hire new agents. Usually when you think of training in real estate, you think, well, how do they bring an agent on and how do they share with them how the business works? So we're attracting accomplished professionals that already have a track record. So the focus of our training is empowering them with the technological tools to help leverage what they do at a higher level, to provide their clients with more exposure online, digitally, in terms of print and virtual services. And then we have some high-level training and coaching around presentation, communication, negotiating, conflict resolution, things like that that have to do with psychology and the emotions of buying and selling, and working with, managing all the vendors in a transaction as well. So we're really focused on the high-level marketing and presentation, communication aspects of their business, and basically helping them grow their business or maintain their business at a high level, max leverage, and the best tools, technology, and marketing.
So you're saying in residential real estate, there's actual emotions involved?
Man, it is a live wire, and I think especially today, right? It's so stressful with everything going on in everybody's life, economically and financially and physically, that everybody is pretty stressed out. So it takes a lot of empathy, patience, and persistence working with people today to keep people calm, cool, and collected, and to navigate a transaction or your client, through a transaction, eliminating those surprises and keeping everything rolling smoothly, to a successful conclusion.
Indeed. And I've said it before, it's kind of like going way back to the movie Taken, as he talks about his special sets of skills, remember?
Yes,
so
a particular set of skills.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know me, but I have a special set of skills. And I always say the real estate professional, sometimes we look at TV or other things and people make it look easy on TV, but it's not. You need a special set of skills, no doubt, in real estate, and you need to use them all. You're talking about negotiating. You're talking about presentation, telling a story about the properties. All those things come into play in a major way. And at Compass, I imagine it's got to be fascinating because you are working with the best of the best.
Yes, every day is really interesting. I've been in the business now for over 3 decades, and I just recently joined Compass as a sales manager just a few months ago. And being a student of the game through my whole career, always interested in what everybody's doing all across the country. Been some radical shifts in the marketplace over the last 3 years as a result of different technological advances and so on. And every day I'm at Compass, I'm just fascinated by the technology, the tools, the support, and the approach that Compass takes to empowering the agents. So it's fun and interesting and powerful.
And I think, too, those are the things that keep us interested in our profession, just the general nature of real estate, the people we meet. Those things keep us excited because it's always different. It's always interesting every day, every transaction.
That's right. One of the things that we talk about, which kind of falls right along with what you're saying, is humans are humans. So they have similar experiences and emotions. A seller worries about certain things or is stressed about certain things, has certain concerns, buyers as well. And what we find in the business is their concerns are natural and normal because they're humans. But what happens is how they manifest with a person or in that relationship or in that transaction is different. And so you're constantly have to shift back and forth. You have some people that are very expressive and highly emotional, and you have others that are very analytical and very critical. And so you have to be hyper aware of what's going on and then match your services to the type of personality that you're dealing with. And sometimes in these transactions, you'll have partners and they're both completely opposite. So you almost feel schizophrenic, right? Because you have to address one in a certain way and the other one in a certain way in order to be effective. So, but that's what it takes, though. It makes it fun.
What are some of the things that your agents are talking about when you talk about the Compass distinctions in terms of technology? Give us a sample of what some of them are now that you do. Mm-hmm. In addition, as the world is changing, the real estate world is changing, what do you see being deployed or implemented for the rest of the year?
Yeah, sure. So the advances that have really accelerated since COVID have been the virtual services that are offered. So, and they vary depending on if you work with a buyer or a seller. But these days, or let's say previously, you might meet with a seller in person, and then you would share samples of your marketing that would be print, digital, social, and so on. Now what we have are virtual presentations where we can view it together on the computer, and they can be in California or Germany, or they can be anywhere. So the virtual aspect of connecting and presenting is very powerful on the Compass platform. For marketing purposes, for your digital and print, we have a platform that allows the agents to go in and create customized digital marketing pieces that are used in social media and then in sharing in general in emails and newsletters. So these are super customizable. It saves time for the agent, and they're created by a marketing department that have, marketing people that have worked at high-powered advertising agencies and things like that. So the marketing's as a next level, and it's customizable. The agents can do that from anywhere for their clients. And then they're distributed almost everywhere digitally now in the different formats and on different platforms, marketing platforms to gain exposure. With the buyers, it's taken quite a turn. We're seeing a lot of action and activity where the agent will do virtual tours. So we're seeing more and more properties that are selling sight unseen until after the contract's negotiated. Then they may come and do a walkthrough during the option period. So there's virtual services where we can walk through the property. The client is online with us. So this is our own platform, so we're not using FaceTime or something like that. Keeps a record of our showings on the back-end platform for our clients and for our agents. We're writing contracts, are all digitally. We're negotiating virtually. We're signing documents, depositing earnest money, and doing the contract execution all virtually. We're opening title virtually these days. We're depositing earnest money and option checks virtually. Inspections are still done in person, but what's happening now is that the inspectors are taking photos and creating digital inspection reports where they talk about what's going on. So those can be reviewed online as well. And then we're closing things virtually, and the application for loans and the follow-up is virtual. So really things have moved to a virtual world for those that want it. And what Compass has done is created the back-end platform that manages and organizes and powers these services for our agents. So it makes it easier for them. And of course, that's what the clients are looking for. They want safety and security and want to be able to do things from home or from their work offices.
We're talking with Ken Brand, Compass Real Estate. He's the sales manager. I'm on your LinkedIn page, Ken. It looks like you have several principles of success that you live by. I love this one: dream big, move fast, learn from reality. A big one for sales is be solutions driven, right?
That's correct. Always moving forward. The market's changing, and client, concerns and desires are changing all the time, right? You got to be on your toes and constantly looking to reinvent yourself. And that's really what Compass is about. I mean, we have a saying that, so I've been here with Compass now for going on my third month, but we talk about Compass years, right? 3 months in Compass years is like a year or two. That's how fast we're moving, but it's all in a direction that's positive for the agents and their clients, which makes it very exciting.
I'm not going to mention them all, but the last one that you have on there I think is so important, whether you're in the real estate profession or anything else, because with challenges, we strive for success. We don't always achieve our goals or get what we're looking for. Bounce back with passion. That's super awesome. Ken, before we close the segment, what else would you like people to know? And let's tell them how they can reach out to you or Compass.
Well, I would like people to know that we are a group of very hardworking. The way I would define our group of Compass agents is they're alpha in nature, meaning they're very aggressive and assertive and take action type of people, but also they're super high in empathy and EQ. So we have alphas with empathy, and that's what I'd like people to know. We get the job done. And I can be reached at my cell phone anytime, 832-797-1779. And then my email is ken.brand@compass.com.
Ken Brand, Compass Real Estate. Give them a call at 832-797-1779. I'm sending you a LinkedIn request right now. Ken, thank you.
All right, Bill.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
Now we have the opportunity to talk to a super architect right here in the Houston area. His name is Greg Swedberg with 2 Scale Architects. Greg, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We rarely have architects on the show. Now is a super opportunity for us, the listeners, to hear about what your company does, really what architects do. Sometimes there's a little bit of mystery that surrounds the word architect. But first of all, let's tell people about your company.
Hey, thanks so much. I run a firm called 2Scale Architects. I've been in business for myself for the last 10, going on 11 years. And we design primarily high-end custom residential projects, mostly in the greater Houston area.
And when we think about architecture of a home, we've had the experience, people probably all over the world, certainly around Houston and our United States, people have been spending more time in their home. I think they're probably noticing things, I know I am, that we didn't see before about our home in general and even perhaps the architecture of it.
You know, it's been fun getting inquiries from new families that have been reaching out to us through these challenging times, interested in remodeling their home or designing new homes, because you're exactly right. When you're home alone or you're home for extended periods of time, you start to see those things that maybe were a little bit annoying, but now they're starting to present themselves as perhaps limiters to your joy when you're home. That's the same reason why we get a lot of inquiries typically in early January when people have taken time off for the holidays and they realize, wow, my home is really not that conducive to having 20 people in it. For family gatherings, and that's when we tend to start talking to people about how we make a house grow with them over time.
That is a good point, and I'm on your website right now, to scale arch.com, the part where you have your services listed: custom residential, small commercial, remodel, feasibility studies you're doing. Fascinating work. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot to architecture. It starts with trying to understand if you are trying to do a project that is actually viable, all the way through helping our clients during the construction process with eyes and ears on the construction site to help make sure that the project comes out the best way we can.
In fact, the idea of the remodel also comes into play where people really like, or they may like, their location, and as things change, maybe they want an update, you're a good person to call.
Sure. So remodels aren't always just about trying to spend more money. Remodels are often about people have roots in their neighborhood. They are comfortable with where they are, but the home maybe is tired. Maybe the home can't work for maybe a new family situation. We've got aging parents moving in, so now we need to talk about aging in place, or accommodations for special needs, or we started the family with one child and now we have three. And so I love being a part of those projects because it's really about, look, we're not trying to create new roots, we're trying to sort of cultivate the roots that we already have.
Do you also work with home builders?
Yeah, so some of our clients are home builders who are looking to create new and interesting speculative work. We do about 10 to 14 projects a year, so we don't do a lot, which is also kind of funny when people say, man, I see your work everywhere, because I'm like, we're not everywhere. It's a big town. But I think that speaks to the type of projects we do and the impact they have when people are walking their dogs or driving by, and they notice and they remember. And so when we have of those 10 to 14 projects, maybe 9 or 10 of them are custom, and then we do a few where a home builder hires us to create speculative homes. So that's a home that does not have a home buyer yet. That's a home that they intend to sell, but they want something that just doesn't look like everybody else's. They want something that catches the eye of a prospective buyer, and they don't just want to go rehash some old design. They want something new and interesting.
And I would tell people, once again, referring to your website as I'm on it right now, as we talk, to scale arch.com, the part where you have your portfolio. So if people go to that, it's just beautiful. I like the home on Bunker Hill, by the way. That is just awesome. You talk about clean lines, design. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, we do work for all sorts of variety of people, and I like to say that we win relationships. We don't win projects. Long after somebody's built a home and moved away from the home, we still want to be part of their lives. And so to that effect, we really dive into what it means to be their family unit versus somebody else, and how does the home fit into those life goals or needs or desires sometimes. And that family was an interesting family that was moving here from Mexico. And so they were real big fans of contemporary vernacular Mexican architecture. And so coming and talking to a guy that, raised in Houston, does work in Houston, they came to us and said, hey, look, we love Mexican architecture, but we don't necessarily want to bring a Mexican architect. So let's talk about how we can adapt that style to work with our hot, humid, rainy, polleny, smoggy from time to time type of climate. And I think that house turned out really great. They're definitely an homage to the Mexican contemporary architecture.
The home, as you look at it, once again, on the website, it's the Bunker Hill home. It looks like it's cool. It gives you a cool feeling with the clean lines, the white structure. It looks beautiful, not to mention the one on Saxon. The Saxon residence also has a cool, clean look, and it's all beautiful, your portfolio.
Thank you. While sometimes we can't choose the orientation of the home, like often neighborhoods say the front door has to face the street, we take a good amount of time paying attention to how the rooms are oriented. How does the sun strike the home on different times of day? Where can we create some areas for some good cross breezes? Maybe that cross breeze can go across a pool, or in the case of Bunker Hill, we had reflecting pools. So you open the windows up, and as the breeze comes through across the water into your home and out across more water, it actually just creates a much more cooling effect. And sometimes that means, can we place large groups of windows where we know we've got mature trees that can shade them, so that we're not getting all that abusive summer sun?
Just curious, as an architect, how did you approach your own home?
You probably don't have time for that. I do think in general, architects probably make the absolute worst clients because they know too much. So,
okay, we could save that for our hour-long show in a couple of months. But no, certainly knowing what you know, you have to, and knowing yourself, you've taken a certain approach, I presume.
Well, look, I'll leave it at this. I'm a pretty pragmatic person, and so when I see areas that I can improve, not by throwing more money at it, but just being smart about how things are laid out or how things are used. When we flooded during Harvey, we had the opportunity to kind of hit a little bit of a reset button because we got the entire downstairs of our house. And so we took that opportunity, having lived in the home for 6 years up to that point, to actually make some improvements. We adjusted the kitchen layout. We cut into some dead spaces that we knew we weren't really maximizing the usage of to create new storage in other rooms. We changed the flow of the home a little bit to improve furniture layout. And we extended my daughter's closet into a hallway that was not really getting used that much, so that my daughter's closet would be able to serve her greater throughout as she gets older and she has more clothes and more shoes, and that's a whole other conversation about that. But yeah, so it's a funny time to say, well, what's possible when you start talking with an architect, because not always the sky's the limit, but the opportunity to make significant change that can have a lasting impact. That's something that I revel.
Let's tell people how they can reach out to you, Greg, if they want to. Your work is all over town. We're seeing it. I'm looking out the window now. No, just kidding. If someone wants to reach out to you, 2Scale Architects. We're talking with Greg Swedberg. How can they reach you?
Well, of course, on our website, you'll find our contact information. I think that's a great entry point. I like to have fun with Facebook and Instagram, where also you can search for us there. We're putting photos and videos of projects that are currently under construction, photos of sketches that we're doing that are projects that are in design. We do drone footage. I'm a little too old to go climb up on roofs anymore to check out details. So now I use technology to bring the aerial photography to check on my job sites. So you can find us through those social media platforms. I love just getting a phone call from somebody who's interested, and let's chat to figure out if we're a good fit, or if they're, a lot of times we have people just aren't really sure what an architect does and aren't sure if they need to hire one or not. I'm happy to advise people regardless of whether they become my customers or not, because I think it's important for architects and homeowners to be a good fit for each other.
That sounds great. The website is 2scale, ARCH.com. Greg, thank you for being on the show.
Awesome. I really appreciate the opportunity.
New homes. How about Southland Homes? We have Connor Thompson, the owner of Southland Homes, right here in Houston. Hey, Connor, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Who doesn't want a new home? And you are building some beauties. I'm going to refer to your website right now in case someone is not driving and they want to look at this as we talk. BuildSouthland.com. Beautiful homes. Let's tell people about your company, Connor.
We are a full-service custom home builder. We work with some of the best architects in Houston. People usually come to us when they have a lot initially in hand, and they're looking to build their dream home from the ground up. One of our biggest selling points is we finish a fine home, but we handle the project management process very, very delicately and detailed, because there's a whole lot that goes into building a custom home, as you know, or anyone knows who has gone through that process before. So it's our jobs to be the guys to make sure all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and the documents are managed so that we can get that dream home built.
And when we think about real estate in Houston or anywhere else, there are so many components of the market. You can buy a previously owned home. You can go to a new home builder where they have developments and stuff. But there's the segment of the market that you're serving. Someone has a lot, or they have an old house that they want to tear down, then they call you, right?
That's right. And I'm glad you mentioned the old home. So I would say 25 to 30% of our business is new construction, and the rest are remodels, specifically historic remodels. So you'll see on our website, I've got a very specific drop-down portfolio of historic remodels. That's where my heart is, because, man, it is just amazing to get into some of these old homes, especially in the Heights. The Heights has 100-year-old plus homes that we're able to get into and restore and bring back to their original beauty, because Houston's got a lot of history that I think it's overlooked. So for us to be a part of that, it's pretty cool, and be able to work with some clients who are willing to take the time and the effort it takes to restore one of those homes.
In fact, I'm looking at the website under the historic remodels that you have, Harvard Historic. That's a beautiful one there, where you have the porch of the home, the inside. You've made every room just sparkle, clean, beautiful.
So that Harvard home actually was on the Heights home tour last year. That's another fun thing we get to do twice a year. We were supposed to do one earlier this year, but then COVID happened. But
right.
We get in there and we set up shop, and we just open up the home. We talk with the clients, and they're kind enough to open up their home to people just touring the neighborhood, checking out what we do, and seeing that you can take a 100-year-old home that's been neglected for many, many years and go in and clean it up and put the modern amenities inside, but still make it look awesome, like it's an old home.
And changing gears, also on your website, I'm looking at one called Lake Estates. And I hope people listening go to the website, buildsouthland.com. Lake Estates is a beautiful home by a lake, and it was designed by our previous guest, 2Scale Architects. Beautiful work.
That's right. Thank you. That house was amazing. The clients were amazing. They've had that lot for a long time, and it's always been their retirement spot. And they finally got to the point where they were ready to design and build. And that house has so many amazing, unique finishes you typically wouldn't be able to do in town, like the Heights or West U or Montrose, where we primarily work. So that was fun to be able to use some of those incredible stonework detail and large beams with huge vaulted ceilings. The outside, I've got to give a little plug to Moss Landscaping. They were the landscapers on that particular project. And the pool, it's amazing. It's hard to describe in words.
And this was built in 2019. The interesting thing too, this shows what you can do and the people that you use as your team. It shows what you can do with space. When you have space, you're not confined by tight streets or being close to other homes. This just gives you the roomy feel, and it's just beautiful as I look at it. As you mentioned, the beams and the ceilings, the space that you have inside the home and outside. So we'll just roll the roulette wheel here. Well, let's go to Columbia 2. I don't know what
Check
that
it
one.
out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now this one looks like it's in the city, Columbia 2. Again, two scale architects is part of this one here, and it too is beautiful, wonderful elements inside.
That was an awesome home. It was actually in the historic district, I believe. We have 2 Columbias on the website, so I'm just making sure I'm talking about the right one.
This is Columbia 2 I'm looking at, yeah.
Okay. So I think it was in historic, but it was a non-contributing structure, so we were able to take the old home down and build brand new. Another amazing home with some amazing clients. And I keep talking about the clients because it's such an integral part to what we do. There's the finished home, right, and the quality and all the bells and whistles that go in it. But when clients sign up with us, they put all their trust in us, and it's a huge financial investment. So we're married together for better part of a year to 18 months. So to be able to work alongside these wonderful people for such a long time and still have a relationship with them where I can say, hey, I've got some potential clients I'd like to run through your home. Is that okay? And they open it up for us, no problem. Walk through the home with some potential folks that like it's a tour, and talk about all the cool experiences throughout the process, being able to pick out different things and utilize different materials that you would just a regular home. So the clients are a big part of what we do.
How do you see, as far as this year has been a crazy year, how has it been from market-wise, and how do you predict things are going to play out as far as your work? You guys are staying busy, you're helping people, and I suppose maybe I'm answering the question, but what you're doing now was started 18 months or a year ago, I guess.
Yeah, it's we aren't seeing a whole lot of new construction right now. The majority of my work is remodels and historic remodels, which I prefer. So I think people are in their homes that they have been in for a while, and they're just looking around and going, you know what? Now that we're stuck in our home for months at a time, we're really starting to see these remodel projects that we wanted to do for so long and have put off. Now it's time to do them. We're getting a lot of those phone calls. I think I can't tell you what the future holds. We did not slow down during the quote unquote shutdown. We kept going, and the guys that I have, they're happy to work. They're happy to be making a paycheck every week. And, fortunately we were considered essential, so we could work.
Someone's out there in their home that needs remodeling or some help, or they have that lot. They just need to call Connor Thompson. It's that easy.
That's right. Yep.
Let's give him the number, Connor.
It's 281-932-3632, and that is my direct line, so you can call me directly.
281-932-3632. So in the meantime, one quick word. I have to think there are many gratifying things in your profession, but when you start a project that begins a year, 18 months, and you see the finished product and you walk through it with your customers or even people that other people that want to see it, it has to be gratifying.
It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I feel that more strongly with those historic remodels, because we took something that was dilapidated, that very easily could have been just bulldozed over or looked over and passed on. But someone actually took the chance and said, you know what, that can be awesome. Let's design something and make this work. And just being able to look at those before photos up against to the photos that were finished, it blows my mind. And I'm in it so often. Sometimes I don't take advantage of it like I should. And if I'm showing friends or family that know what I do, but I hadn't talked to in a while, and I'll show them a picture of what we did, and I see their reaction, it reminds me that what we're doing is pretty amazing. It's pretty special.
Connor, thank you for being on the show. Southland Homes. Go to buildsouthland.com. The one and only Connor Thompson. Connor, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Once again, the one and only John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Bill. Nice to be with you as always.
It's always nice to talk insurance.
Well, Bill, we've spent a lot of conversation about errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance, and I know that our listeners search insurance all the time online to learn more about their insurance and how they can be properly insured and properly covered. But one of the coverages that are sometimes overlooked that's worth considering and worth having a conversation with your insurance advisor about is general liability insurance, and that's what I'd like to talk about today.
General liability insurance.
Yes, sir. So that covers customer injuries or customer property damage and related lawsuits. So there are three types of claims that you could see through a general liability policy: physical injuries, property loss and damage, and advertising injuries. And one thing to keep in mind with the GL policy or a general liability policy is it does not cover employee injuries. These are just strictly for your clients. If you want to cover employee injuries, you need to take a look at a workers' compensation policy.
Good to know. There's so many things to know about, and that's a good distinction to know that.
It is, and the three areas that we mentioned a second ago. The first would being physical injury. So somebody could be injured at your office or on some property that you're showing. So it would help potentially cover medical bills, help potentially cover attorney fees, court-ordered judgments, settlements, or funeral expenses in the case of the accident was fatal. There's also coverage for property loss or damage. So this would cover damage to a client's property, costs for repairing or replacing an item. If you were at an open house and you were to break an expensive sculpture during a showing of a client's property, it could cover the cost of the sculpture or the legal fees if the client were to sue. And then the last element is advertising injuries. If you advertise or use social media for your business purposes, your real estate business could be exposed to advertising injury claims. General liability policy could cover accidental advertising injuries, such as a lawsuit over a logo that looks similar to that of a competitor's. It can also pay legal fees related to defamation, both from a libel perspective, which is written, or a slander or spoken perspective, or a copyright or brand infringement. So those are the three areas that a general liability policy covers. Depending upon the size of your brokerage firm, you might want to ask your insurance advisor about what's known as a business owner's policy, and that could save you some money. And what a business owner's policy does is it bundles the general liability policy that we talked about with commercial property insurance. If you have fewer than 100 employees, if you have a small office or workspace, if you make less than $1 million in annual revenue, then you have an opportunity to have a business owner's policy that could combine that general liability policy with a commercial property insurance and save you some money.
And I'm going to make it easy for everybody because to make it most simple is to call Stewart Insurance, because to know what you need, and as things change, you said it before on previous shows, the brokers are adding services. You talked about property management. You have situations where people are coming into their office, and things change all the time. It's the simple part, John, of course, is to call your company and to tailor what they need in this ever-changing world, and you all help them put it together in a very simple way. And they know what the risks are, as we talked about as that introduction we do every week, knowing what the risk and knowing what you're comfortable with and then what you need, where you can be supplemented in terms of the risk with Stewart Insurance.
Absolutely. So it always boils down to how much risk are you willing to take on yourself and how much risk you would like to offset to the insurance agency. And I appreciate that, Bill, but you're exactly right. Whether it's Stewart Insurance, which we would love to have that conversation, or your own insurance advisor, it's important to have those conversations so that you are properly insured and you understand how much risk you're taking on and how much risk you're offsetting to the insurance partner.
And I think the awareness that hopefully we bring forth is just by talking about these terms, the different kinds of insurance that's out there, it makes us think about it, because sometimes we get so busy in the hustle and bustle and all the changes going on, we might forget to say, hey, let's look at that insurance. Let's make sure it's right. So we don't need any more surprises in business, or quite frankly, unless they're good surprises, in a lot of the categories of our life.
No, we don't. And if you just take a few minutes with an insurance advisor, and like we said, we'd be happy to do so here at Stewart Insurance, it truly can make a difference in your peace of mind and in making sure that the coverage you have meets the business environment that you're currently operating in.
Indeed. And as I talk to people on this show, John, and also outside, and my own studies of looking at the HAR, homes that are in the 350 and even higher, they are selling like hotcakes. I'm telling you, I'm looking at sales pending in a variety of areas. And my point is, the real estate broker, the successful one, and many are successful right now, they're experiencing homes on the market 1, 2, 3 days and multiple offers, and they may not have time to stop and think about insurance. So I hope we're helping that way, because as the pace is brisk in real estate right now in Houston, Texas, in this area, don't forget about that insurance.
Absolutely, and they can reach out to us at 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. They can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com, or if you'd like to learn more about us, you can visit us at stewartinsurance.com.
You know what I'm thinking, John? Maybe we're
What's
reaching that turning point. By the way, this is show 329, and if we could, all the times we've said that phone number, which is
866-798-2827.
Maybe people already know it by heart. I hope they do. If not,
they just need to give us a call
at 866
798-2827.
It's that simple, John. I hope we're doing some help out there. Think about your insurance needs. If you're a real estate broker and you're in the real estate world and the real estate profession, call Stewart Insurance. It's that easy. Thank you so much, John Bramlett. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And by the way, John's going to be hosting the show in a couple weeks. I can't wait for that. I do need a break. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Reach out to stewart.com/Houston to hear any past episodes. Thank you all for listening. And once again, thank you, John.
You're welcome, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Until next week.
Absolutely. And they can reach out to us at 866-798-2827. Reach out to us at 866-798-2827.